It's fun. It's just fun. It's fun. It's fun. It is fun.
Sir? Sir, are you listening to me, sir? Sir, I'm talking to you. Sir.
Oh, Holy Spirit, surround me with light. Please rid me of my negative karma and my wickedness. Please help me be a better person.
Good day, creatives. I wanted to start this episode with that clip simply because it's hilarious and quite accurate to our day to day feelings that we just don't get to share out loud. I feel if we aren't crashing out from, unfortunate circumstances, we're worried about keeping up with everyday expenses right as we watch the dollar decrease over the past 5 years. It's been tremendous. I honestly think we're all just fragile and at a tipping point. Our reality is shifting before our eyes and ears, the topics of discussion, the depth of the discussion, and the collective right now is moving toward a unified voice and desire. We're watching the American facade fade into the back picture, and the reality that we created from within for ourselves is falling into alignment with those beliefs, actions, and the lifestyle that we're living. I know that living in this digital age has its benefits and its downfalls. Our attention span and need for instant gratification has limited our ability to critically analyze our choices. We react without taking into consideration any long-term effects from our decisions, and what we are giving our attention to is not benefiting us in any way. So on a personal level, over the past few months, I have been using ChatGPT to help fine-tune my daily routine. And I believe this is the introduction to AI that I needed. It's about cultivating a better life system that helps me stick to the small tasks, and it's a reminder of the big picture. ChatGPT helps assess patterns and the extent of our usage, and it ends with our concept of thought and questions what piques our interest. What things are we problem solving in our everyday lives? What has become a mess in our lives that we need to deconstruct to rebuild with a stronger foundation? These don't have to be life-changing questions or events. It could simply be a do-it-yourself technique, financial growth and opportunities. And most importantly, a tool like ChatGPT can keep long-term data stacking the questions and problems that you do solve. Then this shows you the patterns and gives you suggestions to those topics of interest. Now, I wouldn't say I'm a pro at AI, but this has brought familiarity and has shown me that this tool could be very beneficial in society and reshape how kids learn in school. If anything, ChatGPT is teaching me more about myself. I think we're in a space right now of information being thrown at us so chaotically, whether it be fake news or propaganda, and we really just need to center ourselves and ground our thoughts, our feelings, and emotions. We have to ground them because there's so much going on around us, and whatever you grasp onto will be your truth. And the way we view AI is a tool, and it's going to be here to help expand the possibilities of mankind prolonging life. The medical advancement in surgeries, we're already doing the surgeries with robots now. People are getting licensed and skilled, these doctors are, and it's going to be able to help someone across the world that need surgery immediately because that doctor won't be able to make it there in time. They'll be able to do that robotic surgery for them and save their life. There's so many possibilities. This can bring aid to so many impoverished communities that need the aid, the water, the access to education and tools. Technology has a multitude of benefits, and I feel like as a society, we're letting the media and propaganda just explode in our face with fear mongering us, and I don't think that's fair. We don't deserve that. We have to be able to know and decipher for ourselves what is real and what is not. And I feel like the more you don't understand is because you're not taking the time to learn. But we've already had the iPhone put in our hand, the Black Mirror right before us. People have become millionaires over the past decade off of just using their phone. So we know the possibilities are endless of what we could do with this thing. Now we have robots coming into play that's going to be a part of our everyday life. Could this be a horror movie gone wrong? Absolutely, but why would we look at things that way? You know, the way we view things is what shapes our reality, and that's the most important thing we need to understand in this great separation. We need to understand what we give our intention to, our energy is going to be given to. So, therefore, that's going to be our truth. That's going to be what keeps happening and showing up in our reality on a daily basis. And throughout this great separation, we need to be able to train our focus to keep going up for us. And what I mean by up is we need to keep looking in a direction that's going to benefit us in every way, shape, and form. And if those people that are around us are bringing us chaos and we're letting the media distort our thought process, we're going to lose. And I feel like as a collective, a lot of us are waking up, but then the big question comes to self, well, man, what do I do now? What do I do now? I woke up, so what does everything mean if nothing matters? If this is all a made up creation and this is the Matrix, what part do I play in it? Well, if we know it's the Matrix, we all know that we have our own specific role that we're playing in this. And if we're going to do this role right and play this game the way it needs to be played, we're going to make sure we have meet certain marks. And I feel like that's in our everyday personal life because it's not safe right now to think past tomorrow, to be honest. If you're not a billionaire and you can't shake shit up and make shit change happen with your finances, you have to kind of look at this on a day-to-day perspective and be real with yourself. Be delusional to keep your peace, but be real with yourself so you're safe, you're well of mind, you have clarity, you can think for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to become the slave that so many are in this consumeristic life. This world is just about consumerism and what money you can make from it. But the biggest money we have is our health, and we have to take care of that. We have to prioritize the way we're eating. The way we're eating, what is getting our attention. If it's stupid, we need to ignore it. If it brings us stress, if it's not paying us, if it's not loving us, if it's not providing us exponential resources for our well-being, we should not have anything to do with it. And that's why we're in this phase right now. So I want you to really take account on what you're giving your energy to and who you're giving it to. Make sure that they are in alignment with where you are going in life, because that's where your reality is going to shift to. So if the birds that are together, if you're not flocking together, you need to fly away and go find your flock. This is the great separation, and there's no hard feelings, there's no guilt, there's no shame. We grow apart, and there's a reason for it, because we need to become more in line with our authentic selves in order to survive. Only the strongest will survive right now. Are you one of them? So let's get into a few more creatives talking about this great separation, breaking it down for us, and let's come back and talk some more about this.
We are now officially in the middle of the shift. And what's happening is the old world is pulling on the new world. And that effect that is going on up there trickles down here to the earth. So you have this spiritual battle that is taking place. At the same time, the physical world is being removed. You may notice recently that you keep losing items around the house, or your belongings just keep disappearing and reappearing. This is the new normal. A lot of us are falling back on our family and friends. Even couples that have been together for years, they are finally breaking up. This is because of the shift that is happening. It's all about your conscience and vibration now. You have a left path and a right path. Your left path will be those who are still stuck in the third dimension. They are still stuck in this material realm, and they cannot think outside the box. Some souls come here and get trapped in this prison, but your whole goal is to ascend. You must break this mental lock and go higher. Now the path on the right, these will be all your people who are trying to grow and are shifting. They are always trying to expand their knowledge. They don't have this big ego and think they know it all. They love to grow. Now you must remember, we are all energy. Energy is everything. We are just living a human experience. The energy within is more important than your meat suit. You must continue to grow mentally. It's you that carry the torch for your family. You carry the torch for younger generations. And you must make the ascension and become an ascended master. You have a choice. We all do. And you must learn yourself before you can learn anything else. Ashe.
You're not supposed to go out and try to change anyone.
Yes.
Those who are already enlightened, they're already advanced, they realize what's happening now, they're already there. You don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to worry.
The other ones that are so deep into negativity, we're not going to be able to make a difference anyway. They have to find their own way.
You don't have to
We're
worry
not
about
supposed to
them.
convert anyone. It's the ones in the middle that are not sure which way they want to jump. Those are the ones we have to reach, the ones we have to talk to about that things are happening, things are changing, and we're moving into this totally new world.
New Earth.
Man has destroyed civilizations down through time, and each time, it's usually with the bad use of their mind, the misuse of the powers of their mind, and each time, they'd start all over again from the beginning and create a totally new civilization, a new world. They said there's no longer time for that. We can't do it. We can't waste that time. So this is part of the developing of our psychic powers, bringing that back,
Yes.
changing this because we're going to carry it on instead of destroying the world and starting all over again.
Yes.
That's why we're having all this chaos and problems right now as the two try to decide and separate and shift. So it's a very important time we're in right now.
Yes.
And there's many souls that are coming in right now to be here for it. They volunteered to come. The call went out throughout the universe, volunteers to come and help. They have to be souls that are pure, that have not known violence, have no karma to repay, to come in and help raise the consciousness of those who are here. And these people don't know they're one of these. I find it out in my work. But they have no idea on the conscious level they are one of these who has volunteered to come and to use their energy to help raise the consciousness of the world. And I've been told it's working because now the positive is beginning to overshadow the negative.
It's working.
And we are moving into a new world, and it's beyond anything you could expect.
New Earth.
But it's too late to turn back now.
It's too late.
It's in the process, and it is happening.
So we're literally living on two different planets right now. One where people are living hell and one where people are living heaven. And the bridge between that is the decisions that you're making for and of yourself. Now, this is the first time in human history that Earth has been split this way because the chosen are back. And we're actually doing the work. In multiple lifetimes, we have succumbed to ego and hardship and the illusion. But not this time. And it's a blessing that I could share this so candidly because there's a time where people like us couldn't speak up and couldn't share. But this is your reminder that you're doing a damn good job. And it's also your reminder to keep choosing you because I've had to make decisions that have crushed me. But then within a week's time, I realized in divine timing why I had to do it. And there's something about safety as well. For me, I've lived a reality where I haven't been safe or have been protected, but it's in me doing it for myself that now nothing can harm me. Sorry, my cat's going crazy. So yeah, if you feel like giving up or if you feel like there's no tomorrow, There is a tomorrow, and it's bright and it's beautiful, and there's real people out here living happy lives. It's real. So all my trailblazers, all my freaks, all my psychics, all my people who have gifts that they've been ashamed of having, all my kind, sweet people, you are seen. And you can thrive because that timeline has already been created by people like me, by my mentors, by real people who just want the best for Mother Earth. I never said it's going to be easy, but just know that it exists and that you could tap into it at any time. I love you.
I honestly believe that my hometown was my hell. And the reason I say that is because I left every bit that I could of the old me there and took only what I needed for survival to keep going forward. And when I moved, it was all about rediscovering myself for me, no one else, and no one ever tells you what it's like getting out of the mindset of being in survival mode. When you've been in survival mode, just monotony of paying bills, stressing over finances, and just not being able to thrive the way you should, it causes a lot of wear and tear on your mental health, and that puts stress on your body, and that puts stress on every other part of your life, where everything just goes off whack. And with everything on top of that, we have what's going on with politics and what's going on within the media and all these celebrities being outed for these atrocities. It's just so much. So it's really important we focus and narrow in on what's important to us and just accept what is and what decides to separate away from us too. Acceptance is the greatest thing we can give ourselves right now. But no one ever talks about how your body has to heal too. Like, your body is going through those emotions, those arguments too. That argument you had with your friend, with your lover, with your spouse, that argument was a physical altercation, an assaultment to your body too. And it just plays the long game with us. So once you get out of that survival mode, what happens is your body has to start decompressing because it's been in survival mode for so long. You're going to have those jitters, those shakes, those random moment sweats when you're just not feeling good. And it's just like, you're like, why? Everything is great right now. It's your body decompressing from the survival, the stress, the heartache. You thought it was normal, and it's not. It's not normal to be in chaos on a day-to-day basis and being able to function. That's not normal. Have you ever noticed when you go on either family vacations or you and your friends go on vacations, there are a few people who always start acting out and erratic. They have a problem with everything. They're just not a fun person like they were when you meet up and hang out every now and then. But when you go out of town, they're just like a sourpuss and they're ruining everything, the Debbie Downer. Have you ever dealt with those type of people? I have. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I refuse to be that person going out of town. I refuse to be that person. If I ever go out of town with someone, which I have, and I've ended a few friendships because of it, because there is no way I'm going to spend my time with an individual who cannot enjoy the simplicity of just living life and there not being work involved. Because if you're not a pleasure to be around, just because, without any attach, without any reason for anything, then I don't need you around me. And that's not good for my chi. That's not good for my body. That's not good for my spirit and my energy. And I want to keep that thriving and alive. And people will pull on your energy and they'll pull you down. So it's very important right now that everyone that you have around you is in alignment with where you are in your best interest. And that's not to say be a selfish thing, especially if you have a family. Protect that family. If you're single, protect that temple. If you're partner, protect you and that partner. Protect your space and protect who you are as a person. Take care of yourself. Do the self love that you need to take care, because that's going to keep your vibration in a higher state. And I don't want you to think of like, oh, I have to keep it in a higher state. Oh, I have to keep it in a higher state. We are human beings having a human experience. There will be moments. There are moments I go through tremendous amounts of grief. And I have to get up and keep moving, keep doing what I have to do. Because guess what? If I don't, nobody else will, and the world's going to keep going. And I owe it to myself. I owe it to the child in me. I owe it to my dreams. I owe it to to my to my mother. Owe it to this very existence. Of how incredible we are to exist in a time and made it to survive and come into this world and experience it. We should show gratitude. And that's what I work on doing on a daily basis and keeping my frequency in balance the best way I can. But I accept the moments where I'm not that strong. I am not that brave. I crumble. I cry. I fall too. And accepting that beautiful part of your reality can be such a blessing and open so many doors of opportunity. Because if you look at that, that's the game of reality. Can you show gratitude through this chaos? Can you know that there's another day going on and you're going to be grateful to see it? Because there's a possibility you couldn't. And I had a crazy health scare after I moved, after everything was calm and I finally got on my own and I'm in my own space and I'm able to pay my bills and I'm taking care of myself. My health started acting crazy. My health started acting crazy out of nowhere. Illnesses that does not run in my family. It just, well, some of them do, but some of them don't. It's not part in my blood. It's not normal. It's abnormal to my blood type and to the way I live. I live a very clean, healthy lifestyle. Yes, I've had moments where I was drinking a lot and I really hit rock bottom, but I found a way to keep going, to be resilient in those moments, and I'm still here kicking. Um, so all I have is gratitude. And I'm speaking on a very personal level right now because I want everyone to be able to understand that we're all human and that this great separation, there's going to be a lot of noise that surrounds us. But you have to have a sound mind to be able to have clarity to make the right choices for yourself to keep making it through each day. And make choices for the betterment of your future self. That's what you got to think about. Not the future party idea, not the future big dream, but your future self. You got to take care of the things that you know you can take care of, which is your health. That is your wealth. More than money can ever buy. It's always going to be your health. Keeping your mind in a good space. And the reason you want to keep your mind in a good space, even when things aren't going well, you have to trust in the universe and the all knowing that everything's going to be okay. Because why not? Why won't it be okay? The sun's still going to shine whether you choose to wake up and see it or not. And I think with that being said, every day's a new day to the earth. Why is it not for you? Just these are the things I want us to be able to ask ourselves as we go through this great separation. The change is not going to stop. It's going to get more and more climatic as it keeps going throughout the years because AI is going to become more and more a part of our everyday lives and how we function through that. Are we going to run away from it? Why? Information is everywhere. You just have to know the right questions to ask. Once you know the right questions, you can find the right answers. Seeking knowledge is key. If you seek the knowledge, you will acquire the tools you need to survive. And I feel like right now we need to focus on surviving in a state of peace and being grateful. So therefore, we're in another sense, in a more delusional sense, even though we don't know what's going to happen to us. I mean, think about it. We have people being thrown out of the U.S., the people building the country. Our brothers, our Latino brothers and sisters are being thrown out of this country. And this whole country is built off of immigrants, our ancestors. It's really despicable when you look at it. We are just humans trying to live and thrive. We all have dreams. We're blessed to have dreams. Not everyone has dreams. Some of us die at the age of 25 and we don't wake back up. We just zombify ourselves and wake up and take it for granted when it could all be taken away from us, scared to make moves. But through this unknown chapter in society, in the consciousness, let's be brave and wise. And the best way we can do that is by being accountable for our actions. Because the more accountable for our actions we become, the more we can trust ourselves. And right now, we need to be able to trust the hell out of ourselves. We need to trust every bit and piece of ourselves, and the decisions stand 10 toes down. Or however many you got. You want to stand down on everything that you believe in and that you want for yourself and desire and that you believe is your truth. You want to stand 10 toes down in. Because this is where we are moving as a society. Anything is possible right now. So if you see the best for yourself, the best will be your truth. That's your reality. But if you see the worst for yourself based off of your actions, based off of your thoughts and off of your words, if you define that as your reality, these lower vibrations, these constant problems, this constant running with the law, these constant issues with your finances, these constant issues with the relationships in your personal life, if you keep creating those problems for yourself and you don't take accountability, that's going to be your hell, your reality. But right now, you can really walk into heaven. That's the great separation. That's what it's all about. 3D, the heaviness of 3D, or are you going to take accountability so you can know where you are and be real with yourself? Because once you know where you are and you're taking that accountability, there's a path for it. There is a path for it. And that's where you want to be. You want to be moving forward at all cost. And when you can trust yourself, because you've been accountable for yourself and for what you have control over, which is your well-being. Not all the time we have control over our circumstances because life is crazy. We all know this, and life has been lifing since 2020, right? We are in the great separation. But let's get into a few more creatives and we'll chop it back up.
Does anyone else notice that it's now completely intolerable to be with certain people, having certain conversations, and doing certain activities? For example, I am noticing that if I'm having a conversation about something that just doesn't matter to me so much, I feel such resistance even more. I can't even fake it anymore. I can't even put on a smile and engage in this awful, boring conversation for much longer. I don't know if that's you. It is a sign that we're elevating our frequency and vibration, and we can no longer tolerate anything that is not a match. Now, you hear people in the spiritual community talk about a split that's happening, a split from 3D to 5D, and what that looks like. I believe this is what it feels like. It's like I can no longer tolerate being in this space with you. I will not reach out to you. I will not seek your company anymore. I just cannot tolerate it. It's almost painful to be in this situation because it goes against every cell in my body and who I believe I am and what I stand for. An example is just like having a conversation about the weather. For goodness sakes, like how long can we talk about weather here? I'm so done talking about the weather, Not because it's boring, but it's because it just doesn't work for me when I would rather and get more from having conversations about things that really matter. And the more I talk to my friends, the more I'm hearing the same story, that they just cannot tolerate this job that they're in, and they will not go back, even if the money is just way better than anything else. Even if they could make so much money and do what they want with the rest of their lives, they will not tolerate it. They will not be in those spaces. So if this is you, you are increasing your vibration, your frequency, and you're no longer resonating with these things that are in your physical environment. You are consciously choosing what is more in alignment for you because you're moving into 5D.
A lot of people are setting up themselves to be goats right now, and they don't even know it. Matthew 25 verse 33 is currently in the works, and a lot of people are choosing sides that go against the word of God, and by that I mean they are opposing the move of God. They are feeding altars with word curses and hate and bigotry and racism, and they don't even know it. sometimes God will use and raise up people to preserve a land through legislation, which honestly he is doing through Donald Trump right now. A lot of people fail to see this. And guess what they are doing? They are feeding an altar of hate towards one another. And actually, what the Lord is looking to do is spark revival, unity. He's gathering his sheep to himself. And he wants us to bring a massive revival on this nation. In order to preserve the land, he has been working through legislation. Because a lot of the evil, the blood of young children have been shed in the name of freedom. The Lord has realized that we've brought into captivity his children, and they haven't even been able to be birthed to the world because we shed innocent blood. And many are standing against the move of God, and they are actually these over here. They are being goats, and they call themselves followers of Christ. But the Lord is gathering a sheep to himself. A remnant is arising. And I pray that we as a body of Christ will be on the side of God's move and not stand against him. Woe to those who stand against the word of God. Woe to those who stand against the move of God. God is changing legislation right now to preserve the nation. And this golden age we're entering is actually a golden age of righteousness in the land if we will stand in the gap and pray on behalf of the wicked. But a lot of people are not praying on behalf of the wicked. They became the wicked because they are following Baal, Jezebel, and the laws of Jezebel, and they're fighting for the things of the wicked. And they are becoming goats rather than being sheep. Being led by the good shepherd, they have become goats. You know why they became goats? Because they follow political blueprints that are based on altars of evil. And I tell you this as a warning as I end this video. Those who raised up altars of Baal will suffer the mental and emotional consequences. May the Lord not find you opposing his move, because when he sends fire on those altars, you will suffer. And there's a massive separation happening right now in the body of Christ. And it's your choice to choose. Are you going to be a goat, or are you going to be the sheep's, part of the sheep? The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want.
This is a spiritual warfare that we are battling. Everything in American culture is set up to compete for our attention, and your attention is your currency. You see a product that could accommodate your needs or desires, and this is a battle less about good versus evil and more about yin versus yang. Both of these creators that I just shared with you are expressing their meaning of life and posing the question, are you choosing the right path for your highest good? Someone speaking more from an esoteric, philosophical point of view, and someone else speaking from a religious point of view. We as a society fear change, and it's because of the unknown. And like I said, you only fear the unknown because you may lack the accountability in being able to trust yourself. No matter what is going on around you, if you're taking action for you, you will be able to trust yourself. Because you're more self-aware, you're thinking with logic and reasoning, and you're fueling your emotion with the passion, into the passion of doing what you're doing and staying present in that time being. These things reaffirm. You're straying away from people's that don't match your frequency, that don't match the beliefs, the practices, and thought patterns. You just feel a strain, you feel drained when you're around those type of individuals. And you find yourself pulling towards like-minded individuals that reaffirm your state of being, and doing away with the people, places, and things that don't sync in with that. And it's nothing personal. That's the state of being you should be in now. There should be no attachment to lower vibrations of things that are out of your control. Anything like gossip, anything that doesn't have a focus on your four fundamentals in life, you should really avoid. Because right now, more than ever, your attention is your lifeline. And it's best to just focus your intention on where it matters the most. And that's being true to yourself, being your authentic self, and discovering who that is, doing the shadow work to heal who that is, going through with all the situations in the head and the wars and that we constantly have in our mind. This levels up our frequency and our energy the more we find redemption and seek truth. And knowledge is power. Once we start taking accountability and we start aligning with our clarity, we are able to utilize that knowledge and leverage it as power. Let's get into these next creatives that want to discuss more about the Great Separation.
How many of you have noticed people moving out your life? People just leaving, just picking up out of the blue and just being blown with the wind, just leaving your life. You're like, God, what is going on? What is going on with these people? Why are these people leaving my life? It is a great separation. God is separating people from your life before 2025 because they can't go with you where God is taking you. For some of you, you're going to carry another weight of glory. And the weight of glory that you are going to carry, it will crush the people that you are trying to carry with you. They don't have the capacity. They don't have the understanding. They don't have the revelation. The things that you are about to encounter and see and God is going to do through you, these people still have a limited mindset of you, and they can only see you in the person of the flesh. They can't see you as a child of God. They don't see your spirit. They can't comprehend what God has called you to do. So because you have always been boo-boo from the block or whoever, that's the only way that they can see you. This is your ride or die. This is somebody who has been in your life all your life. You know, y'all understand each other. They respect you as a Christian. You respect their lifestyle and things of that nature. But God is shifting and moving and changing and causing people to walk away and to leave you. Tell you you're too deep. You know, you got too holy. You changed so much and things of that nature. But where you are going, they cannot go. They cannot handle what God is about to do in you and what God is doing in you. You have some jealous friends. You have some friends who are very competitive, and they feel like if they're not doing it, you shouldn't be doing it either. They're like crabs in the barrel. They're going to scandalize your name and the things that you see and the things that God uses you to do and the things that you are believing God for, and they don't have the capacity to believe or to dream or to see that big. Who do you think you are? Oh, you think you're better than me? This is going to be their mentality towards you. So what God is doing is taking the scissors and going clip, clip right now before you get into where God is taking you. They can't handle what God is about to do in you and through you and with you. And then there are some of you, God is saying to you, I need you to walk away from these people. These people may be your family, close-knit family. None of you walk away from each other. Some of them may be the people who has anointed you, the people who has licensed you, the people who you have always been in your life. You know, you're close to these people. They're your riders and things of that nature. But God is saying to you, I need you to walk away from these people. You honor and respect these people more than you honor and respect me. Or you honor and respect these people because these are the people that you are comfortable being around. But I'm sending you out, and I'm sending you to the world. I'm sending you to the nations. I'm sending you to other places. And in order for me to use you as effectively as I plan to, you need to be able to honor other people. You need to be able to respect other people. You need to be able to communicate, and you need to be able to move and flow and heal and deliver and do whatever it is that God needs you to do with other people. And then there are some of you, God is calling you to walk away because you're always doing the honoring and you are always doing the respecting. And the gift that is within you, people don't even appreciate what God has given you. They feel like you must honor them and you must respect them, and you do it very well, but they never tell you thank you. They never do anything to show any type of gratitude towards you and the gift or the contribution that you have made into their lives, into their businesses, to their ministries, into whatever. It's always you pouring and you giving and you honoring, you being celebratory, and you always appreciative of everything, but they don't do the same thing for you. So God is saying to you that I'm pulling you away from that. so that you can learn to go and be in places, in rooms, sit at tables, and be on platforms and a part of ministries and things of that nature where your gift is celebrated, not only acknowledged but celebrated. People honor you, honor that you are a gift, because they see what God is doing in you, that God has called you to be a gift to the body of Christ. So there is a great separation that is going on. Either people are walking away from you, or either God is calling you to walk away from people. And if God is telling you to walk away from certain people, I don't care how much you love them, how much you respect them, how much you honor them, how long you've been there, what they've done for you, things of that nature. That was the past. That was for that season. God chose that person and used that person to ordain you, to license you, to give you the first business grant or whatever it was that they did in your life that was needed for that time. God used that person. It wasn't the person, it was God using the person to get you to where God needed you to be for that season. But that season is up, and now God is telling you to shift and to move and to change and to go where it is that He is taking you. But if you do not obey, and you decide that you're going to honor these people and do all the things that you need to do instead of separating and pulling away and going and heeding and being obedient to what God is saying to you, if God got to do it, it ain't going to be nice and it ain't going to be pretty. So I advise you to heed God. It doesn't mean that you stop all communication and, things of that nature. It's just that you're not around as much. You're not praising as much. You're not in that building. You're not in that place. You're not a part of that organization. You're not in that business. You're not a part of that corporation, because God guides. Where God guides, God provides. So just because you are not a part of something that God is pulling you away from, God is going to open doors and make ways for you to be where it is that He's calling you to be. But there is a great separation that is taking place. Everybody that is with you now and where God wants to take you, they can't go with you into 2025. They can't go with you into this next level. The coronation is at hand, and you're about to be crowned, and in the seat, in the position where you need to take, you need a whole nother level of people around you, and the people who you are trying to carry with you are not on that level. They don't even respect you or see you in the vein of ever being a king or a queen. And the people that you are attached to, you are so busy honoring that whenever you take your rightful seat, they're going to feel like you don't deserve to be on that seat. It should have been them, because you always honor them. You always respect them, and that's a seat that they should have a prominent seat like that instead of you. Who are you to receive that kind of honor? Who are you to receive that type of respect and things of that nature? So there's a great separation that is taking place, and either you're going to obey God and let it flow easily, or you're going to let God snatch and rip you away from some people, or cause it to be harsher than it has to be if you would just obey. And those people that are walking away, let them walk. Let them go. If you got to cry your tears, boo-hoo, do everything you need to do, get up, wipe your face, and recognize that this is the hand of God. Because many of us, we can see that it's God. We will know that it's God. We know that God is moving this person. We know exactly why God is moving this person. And we are in our feelings because we are so emotional. We are finite beings who are always so attached to people that we can actually see and know and understand exactly what God is doing and why God is doing it. Because we feel so deeply for these people, we want to continue to hold on, knowing that they're a hot mess and they're going to bring a hot mess into what it is that God wants to do in us. So if you got to boo-hoo and cry and do whatever you need to do, take a day off from work and, sob and do everything you need to do, and you get up and thank God. After you cry, you'll cry. You thank God. God, I thank you because I see where you're going. I know what you're doing. I understand. My spirit is quick, and my spirit comes into agreement with what it is that you're doing, God. I know that I am a human being and that you are God, and you being God, I know that all things are working together for my good, and I know that you moving this person out of my life. You are moving them for the reason that you have already shown me, that you have already said to me. This is a confirmation that they needed to go, but now that it's time for them to go, or now that they have left, I'm feeling the pain and the loneliness of them leaving, or I'm feeling the hurt of me having to move, me having to transition, me having to get away from these people who I am familiar with, who have always been here, and I'm afraid to go forward. I'm afraid of this change. I'm afraid of where you're taking me and what you want to do in this new vein with these new people, and I don't understand understand, Lord, but I appreciate, and I do know that where you're taking me, you've told me that you're catapulting me and taking me into new levels and things of that nature, and you're opening doors for me to move and transition into the position of where you called me to be. And I know that you're doing a new thing in me. So God, I honor you. I thank you. I worship you. For the separation, I worship you, and I thank you for what you're doing. And I know that it's for my good. I know that where you're taking me, everybody can't go. I know that I need to leave the baggage at the door of 2024 in order to walk into the greatness that you have in store for me in 2025. Some of your friends have such a negative poverty level mindset that God wants to bring wealth and inheritance into your life, and people are going to look at you and think that what you have you're supposed to give to them because you are attached to them, when the wealth that you are receiving, the inheritance, is for the kingdom and not for you to just squander and buy people a house and a car and things of that nature. But a lot of people have that poverty, that lack, that project mentality where they think that when you get something, you should come back and be a blessing to the community, which is good.
I'm gonna break this down real simple. Earth is like a radio station, so depending on the frequency that you tuned into is going to determine the life that you experience. Run that back if you need to. What we witnessing right now is called the Great Split or the Great Separation. I've heard about this years ago, but it never actually made sense to me. I'm here to make sense of it now for y'all. We have now shifted into what we know as two Earths. I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about vibrationally. I'm gonna say this one more time. You see what your vibration allows you to see. We talked about this on the video when I discussed the LA fires and how some people experienced the fires and some people didn't. We had a lot of people in the comments trying to go back and forth with one another like nobody is wrong, because we are witnessing the great split, the great separation. So this is about perception through vibration. This is where the planetary alignments come in. As I'm sitting here preparing to do this video, I'm talking to V on the phone. I interrupted her mid-sentence. I said, I just had a major download. Now, let me share it with y'all. Cosmos is like a mirror reflecting our inner world, like our chakras, our energy systems, and our levels of awareness. Planets shift and align in different ways. It's like a cosmic reset button. What happens is it amplifies whatever frequency you already living on. If you've been doing the work such as healing yourself, clearing karma, healing wounds, breaking cycles, that means you aligning with the higher earth. If not, you're gonna stay on that same density. And you're gonna be stuck in the loops of ego, fear, and disconnection. So the split is the great separation. All is being revealed. The fake, the manipulation, liars, the cheater, the scammers. So anything low vibrational is literally crumbling right now. Relationships, jobs, belief systems, karmic cycles, those are all coming to an end. Kind of like people woke up in droves. They starting to realize that they not in alignment. They not walking in their purpose. They've been lied to their whole life. The definition of success that we were taught is so far off. They can no longer hold on to what doesn't align with their soul's truth. Then you got the others. They doubling down on their old ways. They ain't trying to change shit, and that's okay. This is why we seeing so much division right now. It's like we living in two worlds at one time. That's exactly what the great split or separation is going to feel like. Depending on where your awareness is at, it's going to determine which world you land in. Let me just tell y'all this here. Seeing all these talks about these cute winter boots, combat boots, all kind of damn boots. None of that shit got nothing to do with me. Nothing that man is signing away on right now has anything to do with me. You know why? Because I know in my heart when they said all the planets were going to align in some rare celestial event, that just meant that our energy levels were rising, our chakras were aligning. Because y'all remember my theory. The planets are just the chakras, or our energy centers. Now, if I'm the person in charge, pulling the string, or shall I say the entity, and I know that the conscious level of the collective is rising, their chakras are aligning, aka the planet. No, I gotta pull everything out of the toolbox so I can knock them out of alignment. What better way than that than to put them against one another once again? Who even came up with this winter boot shit? It came out of nowhere. I question everything. Y'all remember Saturn is about lessons and karma, which is the root chakra. Your root chakra is your foundation. So when Saturn is doing this thing, you might feel like you're being tested. You might not feel too safe. You might not feel too secure. But on the other hand, Neptune connects to intuition and dream, which mirrors the third eye chakra. And Neptune reveals the truth and the illusion. Planets are cosmic guides to our internal energy. You can clearly see how they influence the shifts in consciousness. I'm talking about individually and collectively. One thing you gotta realize is the split is a choice. It's not happening to you. It's definitely happening for you, even if you can't see it right now. Now that I look back, everybody that was separated from me over the past few years, keeping me from my elevation. Some kind of way they was keeping me stagnant. At the time, I was so distraught. Now that I took a step back and reflected, see the bigger picture. Choice is not about good versus bad. It's about awareness versus ignorance, love versus fear, higher self versus ego. With that being said, the great separation is here. What frequency you tuning into? If you scared, you in fear, you angry, being evil, malicious, just straight ugly, inside and out. How they say a whole new world. It's exactly where you gonna be, stuck in that loop. Just constantly remind yourself, the choice is always yours. Always has been. You either choose to participate in the shit or you don't. It's just as simple as that. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching.
We see that our choices are now creating our reality. Every action we take has a reaction. We have to make the choice to respond wisely. What end of the spectrum do you fall on in this split? Are you in the 3D? Or are you aligned in the 5D? Where do you see your present taking you? What actions and what steps are you taking to fuel the best reality for your future? Your future present self is depending on you. And I think if we can take that perspective of things, we might be able to sit back and take a deep breath and really focus on one day at a time, one step at a time. Because that's all we have is the present moment. The past is a movie, the future is unknown. It's only going to bring the anxiety. We don't want that. We want to stay present as possible and show as much gratitude as possible. But now is the time to question our actions and what we're doing it for. Who are we doing it for? Is this going to benefit us? Is this where our energy needs to be? Some things are better left unsaid, and I'm okay with that. At this point, live, laugh, love, be happy. But until next time, creatives, keep curating. Chat soon.